Família, como é que vocês estão? Quero agradecer a toda a gente que aqui está. Vamos continuar a promover, vamos continuar a fazer isto acontecer ao máximo, porque a verdade é que 34 pessoas é muito pouco para o valor que esta pessoa tem. Sei que não conseguimos estar a promover um a um, mas se alguém tem que te ligar para estar presente na chamada, então é porque falta algo acima de tudo para ir ao próximo nível. Portanto, vamos garantir que que toda a gente se conecta aqui nesta chamada ao máximo. Pessoal, aquilo que eu vos ia, acho que é aqui nas legendas, né? Ok. Ok, acho que agora tipo isto está a traduzir, esperem lá. Pessoal, legendas, idioma falado vai ser inglês, que eu vou meter aqui, pessoal. Ok? Para que toda a gente depois possa perceber. Eu não vou estar a fazer a tradução aqui do nosso grande método, mas eu quero-vos contar um bocadinho a história, o contexto de como é que eu o conheci. A verdade é que nós estávamos em Miami, fomos ao grande evento do Break the Code, e eu estava com o Matt Rosa e estávamos a fazer algumas tours por alguns Airbnbs, e a verdade é que disseram que, epá, juntem a equipa de Portugal a um Airbnb do Canadá, e a verdade é que nós decidimos juntar, nós não conhecíamos ninguém da equipa do Canadá, esta é a realidade. Eu acho que ele não está a entender nada, porque ele não sabe nada de português, mas a verdade é que disseram para ir ao Airbnb do Canadá, nós estávamos um bocadinho à toa, porque não conhecíamos ninguém, mas a realidade foi que fomos super bem recebidos, e uma das coisas que, acima de tudo, me fez perceber que das coisas que me fez perceber, acima de tudo, que estas eram as pessoas certas, estas eram pessoas que tinham-nos valor para passar, acima de tudo, é que eu, quando cheguei lá, fui super bem recebido. A primeira coisa que me disseram foi, assim que eu entrei no Airbnb, para me descalçar, se eu queria alguma coisa para calçar, foi se estávamos prontos para ouvir a formação, se queríamos comer alguma coisa, se queríamos beber alguma coisa, conectámos logo, trocaram logo o Instagram, perguntaram logo, ei, como é que eu te posso acrescentar valor, como é que tu me podes acrescentar valor? E eu aí percebi que isto é alguém que sabe estruturar bem uma equipa. Isto é alguém que sabe criar cultura, isto é alguém que tem um valor fora do normal. E depois, ao falar com ele, uma pessoa super humilde, super trabalhadora, eu percebi que ele tem essa cultura porque tem uma ética de trabalho acima da média. Ok? Alguém que é Sherman 10, e a verdade é que ele criou a coisa mais importante, é que numa equipa, apesar dele ser um grande líder, ele criou uma equipa onde tu não sabes quem é que é o líder, quem é que é a pessoa que lidera acima de tudo esta organização. Portanto, eu quero mesmo agradecer a todos vocês que estão aqui conectados. Pessoal, eu não vou fazer a tradução da chamada e vou explicar porquê. Porque, acima de tudo, eu vou depois estar a cortar o tempo dele, ele tem muitos tópicos para passar, ele vai passar sobre cultura, ele vai passar sobre tudo isso, mas esta chamada depois vai para o YouTube, eu vou meter as legendas depois no YouTube. Mas, pessoal, quero mesmo que agradeçam ao máximo aquilo que o Matt vem aqui passar, e quero mesmo que metam aí, obrigado, 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 Matt. Matt, for you to understand, bro, obrigado means thank you. Like, people are going to really thank you, because I was telling like everybody like the way we met. I'm going to make you co-host. Like, I was explaining like everybody like how we met. Like when we arrived to the Canada Airbnb in Miami, it was crazy because the culture we created, like everybody networking, everybody like wanting to add some value to people that they don't know. So for me, it was like crazy to. And then that little conversation we had outside, like I get to know that you have that leadership because you created like a bunch of leaders. Because when I walked into that room, I didn't know who was the chairman, who was the P150, who was the chairman 100. I didn't know. So for that, like, I really want to thank you for taking your time for this call. Like, the call is yours. Like, people are fired up. I think we need to fire up a bit more. Portanto, pessoal, eu acho mesmo que temos que arrebentar com a chatbox aqui para o grande Matt. Estar a arrebentar 1, 2, 2, 2, arrebentar com a chatbox ao máximo. Fogo, 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 pessoal. A chamada tem que estar mesmo acesa. Para acima de tudo nós conseguimos rebentar. And Matt, I'm not going to be like here with the camera on, because we are having like, after the event, I think you saw on the stories, we had an event. Now we are having like a leadership dinner with Albert Ferrer, the Sherman 50 also. So we are also taking his time, but people are fired up to hear you. So bro, thank you so much for being in here, and the call is yours, my bro. Thank you so much.
No problem, man. Well, first and foremost, just want to say I'm happy to be on this call with you guys all, training and coaching and teaching you guys a lot of the information today. But before anything, I want to give it back to Luis and basically the rest of the Portuguese team, the rest of the chairman, all that kind of stuff, because I know when I met them at that Break the Code event in Miami, just seeing like the genuine level of leadership, the skill set, the knowledge, all of them had, like, I met Andre, I met the rest of them, and just seeing exactly what you guys have here is amazing. And you guys have some of the best leaders honestly in the game as your chairman and as your leader. So I want you guys to be, before I even kick off a training, I want to show some gratitude to them because you guys have some of the best chairmen and leaders in the game, mentoring you guys. So drop a 1 in the chat back to Luis and the rest of the chairman that you guys have, because they're amazing. They're great. And they're people that you guys can leverage and use and follow along the way. So what I want to do with you guys is I want to start off with a little bit about my story, and tell you guys a little bit about me. And then what I'm going to do from there is I'm going to really get into a few keys that I know Luis wanted me to talk about, more like long-term sustainability. So a lot of times in network marketing and in business, a lot of us focus on different things, and we get caught up in a lot of different things or different parts of the business. And there's two sides to the business. There's the yin and the yang, and those are two sides to the business. So it all really comes down to retention and growth. And those are two of the biggest things that people need to really see success. So that's what I really want to focus on training with you guys tonight, on one side of those things. But before that, I want to kick it off by giving you guys a little background about me and my story and how I got involved in this industry, and really what led me to getting to the point where I'm at now. So I've been involved in network marketing and trading now for about 4.5 years. Growing up, I was an athlete. So I played baseball and football, like American football, not soccer, at a very, very high level. And I was highly scouted. So I got full ride scholarship offers to the United States. I was going to go become a professional baseball player. I had like my life made out for me. And when I was about 17 years old, I broke my ankle sliding into a base, and I got injured. So after that injury, I had to reset and refocus and kind of figure out what I want to do again. So at the time, my mom, obviously being how she was like, go become a doctor. Becoming a doctor would be the best plan. So I went to university, studied really hard, got accepted to med school. And I was about to become a doctor and on my way to doing that. And I realized I wasn't happy. I realized I wasn't in a happy place, and I wasn't in a place in my life where I felt like I was doing what I wanted to. I was just doing something for the sake of doing it. I don't know if you guys have, drop a 1 in the chat if you guys have ever felt that way, where you were just doing things for the sake of money or for the sake of impressing someone, but you weren't doing it for your own true passion, right? And that's where I was at the time. I was doing it, but I didn't really have any true passion behind it. So when I started looking and realizing for myself, I wanted something different out of life. And it was cool how everything worked out, because my best friend at the time, his name was Casey. He picked up trading, and he picked up trading through like another company and through another platform. And what he was just picking up, and he was telling me he was doing it. And honestly, just being real with you guys, I didn't believe in it. I didn't really understand how it worked or anything like that. But since he was my best friend, I decided to give it a shot. And I tried it out. And this company was network marketing and trading too. And I saw success instantly. Like in a matter of 6 months, I got myself to basically a P5000 position, not in IM, but in that company. And that's where I was at the time. But at the same time, still, I didn't really love what they were doing there. And I was just trying to figure out what was the best plan for me. And in November 2019, I still remember this because this is the biggest blessing. I went down to a conference and I met an individual from France, and he connected me to Jason Brown. You guys all know Jason Brown, I'm assuming. If you guys don't know Jason, drop a no in the chat, but I know everyone else should know him probably. And Jason Brown, obviously, as you guys know, he's one of the top end chairmen in this company. Now he's on the corp side of things. And he just sat down with me and he told me exactly what IM was doing and the vision of IM, what they were doing, what they were creating. And as soon as I saw the platform, and as soon as I saw what IM had, I fell in love with it, because I realized what IM had was just different than every other company, right? The value behind the product, the ability to help people and genuinely help someone make money, whether they're building or not. I just fell in love with it. So I came into IM, and in a matter of about 2 months, I hit the level of chairman. And then from there, ever since then, I've been just really building it up, launching Canada, and really expanding the movement over here, and just really helping people on a greater level. And from all the stuff I've been able to do in IM, I mean, it's been a pretty crazy journey on the building side of things, and using the money I made off building, I've been able to now use that to fund and create multiple businesses, right? They make me more money on the side. And even on trading, obviously no income claims, but I'm about a chairman 100 on average on trading as well. So this company changed my life in such a massive, massive way. And I'm really excited to share with you guys and teach you guys some stuff that might allow you guys to have those breakthroughs in this business. Okay. So if you guys are excited and if you guys are ready for me to drop those breakdowns and really teach you guys and give you guys a sauce tonight, let me get some ones in the chat and then we're going to get started with this training. Perfect. So what I'm going to start off with you guys on is I'm going to start off with teaching you guys on retention and duplication. Okay. Now the whole goal of my training, I'm going to use a whiteboard. It might be in English, but do you think that's okay? Is that okay if I do it in English?
Yeah, it's okay, bro. It's okay, bro. Don't worry.
Cool. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to teach you guys really one or a key principle. And the key principle is overall long-term residual income. Okay. Now, what I want to focus on with you guys today is help you guys understand long-term residual income. And the reason why I want you guys to understand that is I want you to really understand what IM is and what IM isn't. Okay. So the first thing you need to understand is there's two types of network marketing companies that this is how I like to talk about it. There's two types of network marketing companies. The first type of network marketing company is what I call a sales-based network marketing company. Okay. And in those companies, you make all your money off signing up new people. Okay. So you just make money off signing up new people, but it's really not about the customer. It's not really about the new person. It's about just sign up. So all you really care about, and the way you get paid at least, right, is just by signing up, and signing up more and more and more people. That's how you get paid in a typical or in a sales-based network marketing company. Now, the reason why IM is so special and the reason why I fell in love with IM is IM isn't a sales-based network marketing company. It's a retention-based, right? So when you sign up someone brand new on just say an IM powered pack, and you guys are our leaders, so you should know this. How much volume is someone when you sign them up? Drop in the chat. How much volume is someone when we sign them up? 190. Okay. Now, if they stay in your business, how much volume are they the next month? Drop in the chat. 190. How about a year from now? 190. Right. So what you guys need to understand is in this business, right, it's a lot easier to keep someone, right, than it is to sign up a new person. Right. So you don't want to be constantly replacing people or finding a new person and then doing this and that, because that's not sustainable business, right? You want to be able to hit ranks and you want to be able to hold ranks, right? That's the way the IM comp plan is designed. Our comp plan is designed not only to hit ranks, but our comp plan is designed in a way that you can hold ranks long-term. And that's why I love what we have in IM more than any other company, because we're the only company that has that ability, right? One of the few companies that have that ability to create long-term real residual income, where when you build it up one time, if you set it up the right way, it really is set for life. Okay. So the way I like to break it down is very simple. I like to break down retention into a few levels, and then I'm going to break it down a little bit more deeper after. Okay. So within our business, the goal is to retain people, right? The goal is to keep people long-term. And I know Luis was telling me you guys have had massive momentum. You guys signed up a lot of people, right? And the goal is not to, well, I'm going to ask you guys this question in the chat and you guys should tell me, what's your goal with these people? Your goal is to what? Help them, right? Stay long-term. Your goal is for them to be part of your team long-term. Your goal is to impact them on a long-term level. Drop a 1 in the chat if that's your goal, because I'm assuming that's your long-term goal, right? You guys want to help these people long-term. You don't want to just have them for the short, right? So essentially put, to really keep someone long-term, there's 4 different levels to keep someone, okay? So the first key to keep someone, right, is culture, okay? Now, culture is one of the keys, and this is, I know what me and Luis were talking about before, but culture is so important, okay? If you want to build a team long-term, you got to create culture within your organization, okay? Now, what is culture? Well, culture is something that keeps people long-term. If you guys have ever watched a football match or you ever watch a sport, culture is the reason why we have fans. Culture is the reason why people have fans and people have people cheering for them and so on and so forth. So culture is so important and it's so key. So how do you create culture in your organization? Well, there's a few things. So the first thing you need to do is you need to create proper relationships with your team, okay? That's the first thing you need to do. So what I mean by that is every single person that joins your team, you got to create a family vibe. You got to create an ambiance where everyone on your team it feels like they're part of something bigger. Well, how do you do that? Let's dig a little bit deeper. right? So what you got to do is you got to create team goals, right? You got to create team goals plus dates to hit it, and you got to set the tone. Okay, you got to set the tone as a leader, and you got to set the tone as an individual. So what do I mean by this? Okay, so like if you look at any sports team, right? Drop in the chat, what are your favorite sports teams, or like whether it be like football or soccer, whatever you want to call it, whether it be any other sports. Drop it in the chat. What are some of your favorite sports teams? Let's see if you guys watch any sports. Cool. What do they have? Okay, you guys are all FC Porto. I love it. So what do they have? Do they have like a goal? Obviously, do they have like a slogan? I don't know if you guys know like the term slogan is, but do they have what's their slogan, or what's their goal when they're talking about it? Well, their goal is obviously to win the championship, of course, right? And then they also have probably a slogan right behind it, right? That everyone stands behind and everyone represents. So I know, for example, the football team in ours in Toronto, where I live, we have a slogan called "We Are the Reds," right? And it's called "We Are the Reds." And with that slogan, everyone just represents it like crazy, right? We go crazy about it in the stadium. Everyone's wearing it. Everyone's wearing red, right? We the North. That's what we did for the Raptors, right? So we have slogans behind it. So everyone represents that, right? In your team, you have to have a slogan, and you have to create a culture, right? Where everyone's representing that slogan. So for us in RFG, in my personal team, we have a slogan called Project 100K. And our mission is to help 100,000 people. So my entire team, we have a date on that goal, which is December 15th, 2024. And my entire team stands behind that mission, right? So we all talk about it. Whenever we're talking about missions, like everything is leading up to that big goal, which is Project 100K. Everything we do, every action, everything we do leads up to that big team goal, which is Project 100K. So we all have that same vision and that goal. So no matter what's happening around us, whether someone's arguing or fighting or someone quits, well, we don't care if one person quits, because our bigger vision is Project 100K. And that's what we all focus on. And that's where our energy lies, right? A little bit deeper into culture, you also want to set team expectations, right? When you welcome people, make them feel part of the family. So what I do here is like anyone who's brand new, as soon as you get brand new, as soon as someone brand new joins the team, their P600 leader knows to go send them a private message and personally welcome to the team. We just have a culture built in where everyone, as soon as they sign up, they feel like they're part of something bigger than themselves, right? And culture is one of the biggest keys to keep people, right? Because if you're friends, if you feel like this is your family or your friend group, right? People leave companies, but people never leave family, right? They'll never leave their family, right? So if even you guys, maybe you fight with your family, whatever it might be, but they never stop being your family. So what you got to do is you got to create a family vibe within your organization, within your company, right? Where everyone feels like they represent that one brand, that one movement, right? And they just represent it for life, right? So from there, the next thing, so this is the biggest key to retention, in my opinion, because even for me, before my team was making money in trading, we had a crazy retention based on just culture, right? From there, the next thing is monetary, okay? Now, monetary equals money, okay? People need to make money if you want to keep them long term, right? Now, everyone, when they first sign up, you have to figure out their why and their goals, okay? And you have to figure out their money date, okay? So what do I mean by that? Everyone has a time frame when they sign up, right? Where they're like, okay, after this date, if I don't make money, I'm quitting, okay? In the onboard, as soon as you sign someone up, right, you got to figure out what their money date is. What's that one date where after that date, if they don't make money, they're quitting, okay? And you got to write that down, and you got to plan accordingly, right? So you got to plan accordingly to understand that date, right? Because if you don't understand that date, well, guess what? Well, then they're probably not going to stay, right? And to say their money date is 2 months from now, and you didn't know that, well, they're going to quit, right? And then even if they have a too quick money date, like they want to make money their first week, well, you got to adjust their mindset. Be like, look, that's not realistic. Your money date should be maybe 3, 5, 6 months, right? So every person has a money date that they need to make some sort of money from. And money could be, by the way, It could be a demo money. It could be on a live account. It could be going P150. Any type of money is good money, but everyone has a money date that they need to make money by, or they're not quitting. And ask yourself, right? If you're a newer person or a newer leader, what's your money date, right? And how can you extend that money date for yourself? Okay. That's the second thing of retention. The third key of retention, right, is called products. Okay. Now, this is obvious. Okay. People need to be plugged into a product. So if they're on travel, book their first trip, right? They need to book their first trip. If they're in our platform, use a tool, use a scanner like Impulse, Pivot, whatever you want to learn, right? Get them on a scanner, right? If they're on e-commerce, like for example, ECX, first store, right? We need people on products. If someone is using a product, loving a product and making money off the product, or they're using it, as long as you're using it, so daily or monthly use, why would you quit? Right? I have people on my team that as soon as they go inactive, they're like ringing up my phone. They're like, I need Impulse. I need Impulse back. I need Impulse back, because they're so used to using that scanner that they need it back, right? And that leads to retention, right? So you got to build off a product, right, that people can use and leverage, right? Like, just being real with you guys, like I trade, like for trading wise, I trade smart money constantly. Like, that's how I trade, right? But I build off stuff like smart money and Impulse, because I understand that to learn something like smart money trading, that's going to take you guys, like, for most people to really master it, like 9 months, a year, right? Whatever it might be. So understanding a brand new person, they don't have that attention span. Very few people are like us or like me, right? That's just the reality of it. Most people don't have that long-term mindset. So understanding that, you guys got to get them on a scanner that can make them money ASAP, so they can see the value of trading. And then you get them learning something like smart money or something like that later, right? You got to get people learning the basics first. That's the reality of the space, if I'm being real with you guys, right? And then the last thing you need to do, are you guys understanding everything so far? Just drop a 1 real quick in the chat if you guys are understanding everything and everything's making sense. I just want to make sure you guys are following. Okay, cool. Perfect. So the last thing is vision, okay? And this ties into culture, but I want to go a little bit more deep in it. So, like, everyone got to be on the same page, man. That's the reality of it. Like, everyone got to have the same vision and the mindset. Like, everyone got to be like, okay, our vision is focused. We're all focused on blowing up the brand, the movement, right? Everyone got to be behind that same vision. And you got to do something called a why check, right? And what a why check is, right, is a why check is really just helping people understand, right, their why, right? Like, and link their why to the business. So like a why plus business equals retention. Okay. So what I do with my new people is I do something called a why check. And this is just a little training that I've just always done with my new people. And I figure out they're like, so you guys probably know the term. Do you guys know what forming is? Like FORM or no? Does everyone just drop a yes if you know, drop a no if you don't? I want to see if you guys know. Okay, so yeah, just drop in the chat if you guys know or not. Okay, no. Okay, cool. So what forming is you get to know someone's motivation. Okay, so you figure out what drives this person. Is it their family, right? Maybe they want to retire their mom or help their kids or whatever it might be. Is it their occupation? So F equals, so let me just break it down, equals family, then occupation, right? Do they want to quit their job, right? Do they want to quit their job and focus on something else, right? Recreation, right? Do they want to spend more time doing what they love? Maybe they like playing soccer, or maybe they like playing a sport or an instrument, or they want to sing more, right? And then motivation, right? What motivates this person? Okay. You got to figure out when you're talking to someone and when you're signing someone up in your business, you got to form them, right? You got to figure out the things. And then you got to figure out what is their main driving factor. What's their goal? What is their why? Why are they doing this business? Why are they living life? Why do they want to make money? And after you figure out their why, you link it to this business. So you're like, okay, you want to retire your mom. What's your current plan to retire your mom? Okay, you work at a restaurant. How much money you're going to make a month at this restaurant? Okay, 2,000. Do you really think that's going to help you get to your why? No? Okay, cool. How much you need to make? You need to make $10,000 a month? Okay, cool. With trading and you going P5K, right? We can get you to that point. And I give them a real plan so they can get there. So now their why, or their vision is linked to I am / my brand, which is RFG / your brand, which is whatever you want to do, and go from there. That is exactly how you guys get someone and help someone understand what this could do for their life. Like for me, if someone never did this for me, honestly, not gonna lie to you guys, I probably would not be here today, right? Someone gave me the vision when I first started, and ever since I got that vision, I could never go back, because I saw that this was the only way I was going to get the life I wanted for my family, for my future kids, right? For my future wife, whatever it might be. That's the life I wanted for myself, right? And I couldn't get that life without a business like this, because every other plan I had a certain cap to what I could do, right? So these are the 4 keys for retention. I'm going to go into a few more things after, but do you guys understand these 4 keys? Yeah. Let me just make sure you guys are understanding. Just drop a yes in the chat if you guys are understanding. Just drop a yes in the chat. Just want to make sure you guys are following. All right, perfect. So now that you guys understand these keys, let's get in a little bit more deeper into it, okay? So deeper into retention, you got to have a proper onboard system, okay? So I'm going to give you guys a little sneak peek into mine so you guys can understand this. So onboarding is really key. I have everything on my website. Onboarding is like the most important thing. Okay, so when I get someone started, the first thing I'm going to do with them, right, is I'm going to go through the fast start section, okay? And how it works is really simple. The first thing I'm going to do with someone, I'm going to set their goals, figure out their why, right? I'm going to set goals and figure out their why. From there, I'm going to get them plugged into the culture. Apps they need to download, chats they need to be in, right? I'm going to create chats that get them in the culture. I'm going to tell them what local events they need to plug in, what local calls they need to plug into every single week. And I make those non-negotiables. And then I get them to follow the 3 best in the game so they can see where they could potentially go in this space. Then from there, I set them up with the right expectations. Whatever market they want to join and whatever market they want to be in, right? And this is like our free option. So we give people like a free, like, as in like a tool to get people in. It's just like a marketing tool. But how it works is very simple, right? We give them away, right? So whatever academy they want to have access to, right? Well, let's say they want to do F or X, right? First thing we do, right? We have them a system, apps they need to download, setting up a broker account, right? How to place a trade, how to place an investment, right? How to use proper risk management, how to use a tool like Impulse, IM Center walkthrough, right? And then from there, what we do is I have a video I made that walks them through this entire system. So exactly what videos they need to watch based on their location, what they need to study, what they need to do, so on and so forth, right? And then from there, what I do is they go to step number 4. I have an entire video on how to launch your business 101. And then from there, the next thing they have to do is within 72 hours, they got to book a one-on-one call with me. And then from there, what I do is I walk them through their next steps in the market, right? So I walk them through their next steps in the market. So they have 2 things. They have a next step in the market and they have next steps in building the business. Okay. So I group everyone into 3 categories. And let's write this stuff down, by the way. Are you a lifelong customer, right? Are you a potential 2 for free, or are you a future chairman? I ask you and I have a conversation with you and I figure out which one you are, right? No matter which one you are, I'm going to bless you either way, right? So if you're a customer, right, and you're a lifelong customer, I have systems built out for anything you want to learn. So you want to learn Impulse? We have an entire step-by-step system on how to learn Impulse, right? And this is what you guys can do, right? You guys can do this within your team. Like, don't wait for your upline to do it. Figure it out yourself, right? And do that, right? Okay, cool. You want to learn the business. What do you want to do? Okay, cool. Every single person should be at least learning something, right? Or leveraging one of the tools. And there's a system design behind it and behind it as a whole. So now you have the systems built out at the back end. Well, now if they want to build, well, guess what? I have a whole building system too, right? So if they want to build, let's go back here. You go to next steps in building the business, and we have a chairman bootcamp, right? And what I do is I group them into the categories. So like whatever, there's like skill sets they need to learn at every level to make sure they hit every rank, obviously, and so on and so forth. So that's really what we focused on, right? Everything has to be systemized. If you want to scale to 100,000 plus people, if you guys want to hit chairman 750, if you guys want to max out the comp plan, right? The reality is you're not going to max it out if it's not systemized. If you don't know what you're doing and you're just signing people up for the sake of signing people up, you're not going to max it out. You got to create retention systems out there so you guys can sustain long-term growth. So for me, I'm in a position now where I have multiple legs and multiple positions where I don't need to be always doing everything, if that makes sense, right? Like the system self-sustains itself. So even if I had to focus on another business or something happened to me or I was sick or whatever it might be, the system is self-sufficient. right? And that's what you guys got to create for yourselves, right? You guys got to create a system for yourself and even for your own team. And my leaders all have their own systems built off the main system, right? Where the idea behind it is it got to be self-sufficient, guys. That's the biggest thing, right? It got to be at the point where your business can grow, right? So now that I got into that side of retention, how many of you guys understand retention a bit more? And how many of you guys feel like you guys gain value in terms of like retaining people, in terms of systems and all that kind of stuff and culture and vision, all that stuff? Just drop a yes in the chat if you guys feel like you guys learned a little bit there. Cool. Perfect. So the next thing I'm going to go over really quickly with you guys after retention now is sustaining the growth. Okay. So how do you sustain the growth? Well, sustaining the growth comes from duplication. I know you guys already probably know this term, so I'm not going to go into it too deep, but I'm going to explain to you how to do it. Okay. So if you want to sustain the growth, I mean, no matter how good your system is, you're not sustaining people if you don't have leadership. If you don't have leadership depth, you're not sustaining people. That's just the reality of the space. And I'm going to be real with you. That's the reality of the space. Okay. So what you need to do is you need to create leaders to sustain growth overall, because if you don't have that, you're not going to be able to do it. So the step number one of creating leaders is identify, right? So the first thing you need to do is you need to identify, right, who has it factors plus who is duplicatable. Okay. So you have to understand who to duplicate and who not, right? Like a lot of times we try to duplicate the wrong people, and you can't duplicate someone who's not duplicatable. That's just the reality of it. So they got to be coachable, right? Like you can't teach confidence or charisma, right? Those are the people you want to duplicate, right? People that have natural charm, natural confidence, natural charisma. There's levels to the game, right? Like so many of us are ultra skilled, I guess you could say sometimes, but we just don't apply because we don't know how to apply, right? So you got to understand how to do it and how to create sustainable growth. And sustainable growth only comes from duplicating the right people, right? So a lot of us try to duplicate someone that can't be a P5K or can't be a chairman. And like I said, it's a leadership call. So I'm going to be real with you. A lot of people aren't personally developed enough yet to lead more than 30 people. That's just the reality of the game. 95% of your team, probably 90% of people on this call aren't personally developed enough yet to lead that many people. So if you don't feel like you are, you got to go back to the drawing board to develop yourself. And I'm just going to be real with you because that's the reality of a lot of people. And a lot of times it takes someone else to tell you that, but you got to work on yourself first, right? If you want to lead people, you got to work on yourself a little bit, right? And if you're not working on yourself and constantly getting better, how do you expect to lead someone else, tell someone else to get better? Because they're going to read right through you. Like I can't tell my team, oh, go out there and prospect if I'm not prospecting. It makes no sense, right? I can't be telling my team, develop. Okay. Now from there, the next thing is understand the numbers. So this is my numbers. Everyone has their own, but I like to break down my numbers. So I'm just going to put a big asterisk here. You will never hold, because you can hit a rank past P2000, right? Solo. Okay. So if you want to hold a rank without stressing yourself out, and holding means that if you walk away from your business for a little bit, you don't derank. That's what I mean by holding, by the way, right? So you can never hold a rank. And remember, the goal of network marketing, I talked about at the beginning, is residual income. What is residual income? You do something once and you get paid for it for life. A lot of us treat this business like it's like sales or whatever it might be. It's not sales, guys, right? This business is network marketing, and the goal of network marketing is residual income. Residual income comes from you doing something once and you never have to do anything again and you get paid off it. The only way you can ever create real residual income is duplication. Write that down. Real residual income, right, comes from duplication. That's the only way you can do that. Okay. So what you need to do really quickly is you need to understand the numbers game, right? So numbers at every level. Okay. So what do I mean by that? Okay. Well, there's types of leaders. Okay. So for 12 people, so in your team, however big size you want to create, you got to create leaders that can hold that. Okay. So there's two types of leaders I like to break people down into. So one is B skill leader, right? And then the second one is an A skill leader. Okay. So this is like just my own personal like terminology, so you don't have to repeat it, but I'm just saying. Okay. So a B skill leader can hold 12 people and sustain 12 people. And then an A skill leader can sustain 30 people. Okay, that's just the basic understanding. A B skill leader can do every skill set, right? Up until they can do every skill set. So they can do customer care, they can invite, they can launch, they can onboard, they can promote, but they cannot present or close effectively yet. And then an A skill leader can do everything and they can close plus present. Okay, that's how many people can sustain and hold. Okay, now freedom, right? The whole goal behind it, right, is based on your creation, right, of these leaders, the faster you get to freedom. Okay, so what do I mean by this? Well, if you understand this game and you just break it down into the numbers, it's very easy, right? So I want to go P2000. Okay, bet. And I want to go to P2000 where I can potentially walk away. Well, I need to create 2 A skill leaders and 1 B skill leader. Simple, right? You break it down into that kind of mentality and it makes it a lot easier, right? And that's the way I look at it. I want to go chairman. Okay, cool. About 18 A skill leaders, right, equals chairman, right? Just break it down into a numbers game and everything becomes easy, right? So at every level, there's different skill sets that you want to duplicate. I can like go over that a little bit more if you guys want me to. But the reality is, right, that's what it really comes down to if you guys want to keep a team, right? Obviously, you have to have the right retention systems. Let's call it retention systems in place. And then you need to have enough. And then the second side of things is leadership depth, right? If you have leadership depth and you have the right retention systems in place, you guys are going to be able to go to these high levels and be able to hit those high ranks and high levels. So I'm going to do a little quick training with you guys right now on the skill sets I believe you guys need. And then I'll wrap it up with that at every level, right? So write this down if you guys haven't written down anything yet. So key skill set to duplicate at every level, okay? So this is my personal opinion, okay? So when someone's unranked, you need to duplicate with them the invites plus edification, right? And those are the 2 skill sets you need to really duplicate within them, the invite and edification. As a P150, what you need to duplicate with them is onboarding, how to launch someone, right? And how to run the 72-hour call that I was talking about. As a P600, what you need to duplicate within them is how to present, how to close, how to handle objections. A P1000, what you need to duplicate within them is you need to duplicate within them how to duplicate, the skill set and the art of duplication. And then a P2000, in my opinion, to really progress, to go P2000 and past that, all you really need to do is work on your leadership skills, your levels of awareness, right? And that's really all you really need to do. And then go from there. And you just got to grow as a leader and grow as an individual and grow as a person. But on a skill set, on a straight skill set level, you should have all your skill sets down on your journey from P1000 to P2000. All your skill sets should be mastered. Now, to go P2000 to chairman, it's more about your leadership and your ability to lead people, your ability to communicate, your ability to talk to people. And that's what it really boils down to as a whole, right? So that would be the main things that I wanted to cover with you guys tonight on this call. I appreciate you guys and the time you guys have. What I can do if you guys want is I have 10 more minutes, so I can leave it open for questions. If you guys have any questions for me or you guys want to ask anything, I'll give it back. And I guess he can help me with answering these questions, and then we can go from there. But thank you guys for your time. Hopefully you guys gain some value. Hopefully you guys gain some knowledge. I'm really excited I got a chance to pour into you guys because I feel like everything could help, at the end of the day. So I'm excited to work with you guys, and anything you guys need, you guys can hit me up on Instagram. If you have any questions, always down to serve, always down to help you guys and help you guys elevate on a massive level. I drop my Instagram in the chat. Anything you guys need at all, always down to help your squad and go from there.
Thank you so much, bro. I will ask people if they have any questions, if they understood. I'm going to speak a bit in Portuguese in case you don't understand it. Mas pessoal, quero mesmo que metam muito fogo, comentem mesmo com o chatbox, porque a verdade é que o que ele passou muitas das vezes, vocês perguntam-se como é que podem reter equipa, tem algumas questões, e acho que é importante às vezes entenderem o que é que está por detrás de tudo isso, e acho que foi muito importante o que o Matt teve aqui a passar, e uma das culturas mais incríveis que eu já vi, vocês viram o standard da organização, tá? Eu garanto que as pessoas estão nestas chamadas, eu, Saúde e o Pires, de certeza que estamos já passados a criar um site assim, mas acima de tudo, pessoal, Digam-me se tem algumas questões mais para lhe colocar. A verdade é que eu podem fazer questão em português que eu traduzo, sem problema, mas digam mesmo acima de tudo. Vamos dar aqui espaço para uma das questões, mas vou perguntar. Bro, people are asking if you have any mentor, like who is your mentor?
Yeah, so I mean, so my mentorship wise, like I work personally with like mostly Jason Brown now. As a whole, that's who I like really work with since I joined IM. He's the guy who really brought me into the company. When I first started, I didn't really have a mentor, not gonna lie to you guys. The person who enrolled me just left me to dry, kind of. He just left me to figure it out. So it was honestly the biggest blessing for me because it allowed me to grow as an individual. So to start off in the industry, I didn't have a mentor, but to take myself to the higher levels, I leverage Jason Brown. He's like my main mentor. And then even Alex helps me a bit, so on and so forth. But those would be like my main mentors right now.
Perfect. Then you have another one, like how to improve our presentation and duplicate in small towns with some traditional community. Like which key points I should press, because I'm going to contextualize a bit. In Portugal, we have like the main cities are like on the near the coast, but in the interior, they are like small-minded, like agriculture type of thing. No, I need to just mind my business, like really traditional cities, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's why he's asking that.
So how you do it is, in my opinion, is very simple. You got to break their belief system. So the reality is everyone has a belief system and everyone has a way to break it, right? So let's use an example, right? So obviously, like we have like Santa Claus, right, in Canada, right, and like for Christmas and stuff like that, right? So with him, right, obviously, like at a certain point in life, you believe in it, and then eventually you don't believe in it, obviously, because someone breaks that belief system, right? So someone just needs to come in and break that belief system and break the barrier of what's possible and what's the way to make money, right? So for me, I started off in my university and no one believed in me, right? But when they saw me making money, I'll even show you guys something really quickly so you guys can actually see this. But I think it's a kind of cool thing to show. So when I started off, this was like my first event, like you guys can see it right here, right? This is like my small little event. No one believed in me at all, right? From there, like it grew to here, then I packed up the biggest lecture hall at my university, right? Like about 5 months after that, right? Well, the reason for that is I broke their belief system. Everyone there thought the only way they're going to be rich ever was working a job, right? And then after seeing what I was doing, right, and then seeing like what I was able to accomplish, they're like, oh shit, like there actually is something else out there that can make me this much money. Right. So someone got to come in, whether it be you or someone else, and you maybe just got to put in the work as a customer, whatever it might be. And you got to break that city's belief to the point where they're like, oh my God, okay, this is possible. This is real. And as soon as one person breaks it, you just break the door down. It's like someone got to break the door. And once the door is broken, everyone else can run in. And then it will open up the floodgates. And in small towns, when I launched small towns, one person does it. And as soon as that one person does it, the right person, you got to find the right person. Everyone else does it, and it'll grow to like 300, 400 people in a matter of a few weeks. Yeah, exactly that.
Perfect. Pessoal, tem mais alguma pergunta? Esta é a última pergunta também para não roubar muito mais tempo ao Matt, mas digam-me acima de tudo a última pergunta que tenham, porque vocês já perceberam que é alguém com uma cultura diferente, é alguém que tem uma vibe diferente e acima de tudo tem um conhecimento acima de tudo diferente. Portanto, digam-me aí, pessoal, se há mais alguma pergunta ou não, se não podemos aparecer a chamada, digam-me aí, pessoal. But bro, while nobody's writing any question, I just want to ask you, like, okay, somebody wrote, what's your goal for 2023?
I have a lot of goals, to be honest. My biggest goal is I want to create 10 six-figure earners this year. That's like my biggest goal, to be honest, because for myself, like I financially wise, like with the decisions I made and what happened, and obviously being a chairman in IM and using that money to fund a lot of things, I'm pretty good for myself. So my biggest goal now is like creation of new individuals, new six-figure earners, new success stories. That's really where my focus lies, to be honest.
Perfect, my bro. Thank you so much for your time. I think like everybody here got the knowledge, like that. That's what I said to people, like when we were going to have this call, like it was going to be a different type of call, you know, like more deepest one, because we spoke a bit like the topics that we were discussing, everything. So I think you touched the point. I think it's it's strong, like what you passed here, like the points of organization, like retention, even like that little thing you showed, like you started and after 3 months you were packing rooms of 400, 500. So for me, bro, I'm really, really, really blessed, like for having you here. I'm really blessed for having like that connection to you. So we see you in Rotterdam, I hope.
Yeah,
And
man.
you're going to smash it, bro. Thank you so much for your time.
No
And
problem.
I'm going to just tell people to thank you like one last time, but in Portuguese. How do you say like in that you speak only like in Canada you speak only what English? Like
Only
and-
English, yeah, we speak English.
okay. Okay, so we say it in Portuguese for you to get like the thing. So, pessoal, digam aí, obrigado, Matt, obrigado, Matt, obrigado, Matt, obrigado, Matt. Mesmo para agradecer acima de tudo o que o Matt passou. And we hope someday you come to Portugal and we smash an event here.
I'm down, bro. I love Portugal, to be honest. So interesting fact, actually, my grandmother is actually like my grandmother is Portuguese. One of my grandmothers is Portuguese.
Nice.
Yeah. So I'm a little bit a quarter Portuguese. So I'm a little bit Portuguese as well. So
And do you know the city or no? In Portugal?
I think it was Lisbon, because I mean we're not really close, but yeah. So yeah, it's kind of cool that I have a little bit of that background. So it's funny how things work out, you know.
Yeah, that's why we connect. Like when we arrive to the Airbnb, that's why.
No, 100%. There's always that
Okay.
connection there, bro. But appreciate your time, man. And I'm excited to really run it up with you. And I'm excited to see you guys or see you go Chairman 25, and excited to see the success stories from this call created. You know, I feel like you guys are going to make a massive movement. And I feel like I am in that perfect time right now. We had that a little bit of down, but now it's about to boom up. So we're in a very good position and place, and it's time to just execute. That's what it's all about.
Thank you so much for coming for the whole time highs again. Let's go.
Let's get it. Well, anyways, guys, talk to you guys later. Have a great day, man.
Pessoal, grato a todos vocês que estiveram aqui nesta chamada. Acima de tudo, acho que toda a gente tirou imenso valor desta chamada. Acho que foi uma chamada importante, porque muitas das vezes nós não percebemos o background do que é que está por trás. Eu gosto às vezes de meter pessoas destas chamadas, também para não ficarem fartos de me ouvir a mim ou a saúde, né? Acima de tudo. E o André Pires e tudo mais, mas não tirando o nosso valor, mas acho que às vezes é importante nós percebemos como é que outras culturas funcionam, percebemos como é que outras equipas de outros países diferentes funcionam, bem tudo isso vocês conseguiram perceber, tiraram ali muitas ideias. Eu de certeza que tirei coisas muito importantes, só é verdade. Tanto que há muita coisa que eu vou começar a aplicar e foi uma das coisas que eu aprendi acima de tudo lá no Break the Code, foi isso, é usar sempre a tática do lá, que é learn, apply, learn, apply. Então se vocês quiserem fazer em português é AAA, que é aprender a aplicar, aprender a aplicar, aprender a aplicar. Acho que isso é muito importante. Portanto, pessoal, vamos aplicar acima de tudo o que ele nos passou. Vamos criar um sucesso massivo. Vamos rasgar com tudo. Pessoal, amanhã é um dia incrível. Temos evento em Portimão. Estamos aqui no jantar de liderança, acima de tudo. Portanto, vamos rasgar, pessoal. Grato a vocês do fundo do coração e vemos aí.